In this video, I am going to provide you with 10 things that you need to think about. I'm not going to tell you you have to do any of these. I just want to point out whether or not some of these make any sense and provide you with my opinion on them. So remember, I'm not an engineer. I'm not an architect. However, I have probably built over 1,000 stairways and probably spent about 8 years of my career out of the 40 years I've been doing this stuff, building stairs. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. First up on the list, I know a lot of architects, this is a standard detail. I can't tell you how many architects use standard details and don't really know why they do. They don't know why they're doing it. It's just a standard detail. They might be able to tell you, hey, here's something I do and here's the reason, but whether or not it makes any sense. And this isn't. I just see no need for it. You know, this just doesn't. It provides us with number 2 on our list, which is going to be an additional separation point. So if you think about it, I would just nail these stringers into the subflooring. You know, either cut the board all the way across and use double 2-bys, or, you know, just have the stringers set on top of the flooring. But you know, with that said, the double separation point I'm talking about is, you know, if you just nail it to the bottom of the stringer to the bottom of the subflooring, that's one separation point. It can actually separate from there. If you have the 2x4 nailed to the top of the subflooring and attached to the subflooring, and then you attach the stringer to the 2x4 kicker here, now you have another separation point. You have an additional point right here where the stringer can separate along with at the bottom. Now here's an example of the line going all the way across so that you don't notch it into the stringers. And again, here you can see where you're going to have an additional separation point. The stringer can separate from the 2x4s. The 2x4s can separate from the wood-framed floor. Number 3 on our list will be some type of floor framing blocks, something to support the stairway or provide the stairway with additional support and means of connecting. You know, you can put additional screws in or nails in the kicker board here or in the stringers. Number 4 on our list will be, you can always use some thicker blocks. That makes sense. You know, a 2x could crack or split, and you're like, wait a minute, I want something a little more heavy duty. Go for it. Number 5 on our list will be connecting the stringers. You know, I'm going to provide you with a couple different examples here. This is actually what I would do, and that would be to toenail the stringers, and you can see you get a nice connection this way. If I just had a nail coming straight up, like a lot of times it's common in wall framing, you just have a nail that goes straight up into the framing, and if anything was going to happen, the stud could actually separate because it's just going to be lifting up. There's not a lot of pressure to prevent it from coming apart, but here you're going to have a little more pressure with this type of nailing here. So let's go ahead and point out that there is no kicker board here. This is how I built a lot of stairs right here. That's what it looks like. It does not look like this. What inspired this video actually was I saw somebody put a kicker board in the back. They had it, instead of in the front, they had it in the back of the stringer, and they attached a framing anchor like this to the kicker board. So the kicker board and the stringer had a nice connection like this, but it could still separate from the bottom of the 2x4 in between the top of the plywood, top of the sheathing, and the bottom of the 2x4 kicker. And hopefully that makes sense. And this might be getting a little carried away, but you can always go with some heavy duty hardware if you want to put some hold downs in there. And let's take a look at what the stringer would look like without a block. So if you're just going to drive some 16D nails into the stringer, and you're not going to have a block underneath it, the nails are simply going to go through the plywood. And this isn't going to be that big of a deal. You know, if you have access to the bottom of something like this, grab a hammer and cinch the nails. Just take and bend them to where they're flat with the subflooring, and this is going to provide even a stronger connection, and it might actually produce a stronger connection than the blocks, because now the nails are going to be difficult to pull out. So when you put a little more force on the stringer, you try and lift it up somehow, it's going to take even more force to get it out, because these nails are not going to just slide out real easy. Now let's put our block back in and go to number 6 on the list, would be some type of pressure blocking. And you can see how this could provide you with some additional support. You can nail it into your blocks below, get a nice solid connection, and then go a little higher on the stringers if you want to nail into the blocks here. And of course you could always end nail. You know, you could drive a nail straight into the side of at least one side of the block before you installed the other block. And of course the pressure blocks would give you, just like the kicker board would, a means to nail the riser to it if you're looking for some more support. Also, having the riser nailed to this, I know a lot of people don't really think about it, but when you put the riser in here, this is going to provide you with some more support, because it's connecting the stringers together. And if the stringers are fastened to the ground and the middle one starts to loosen up, well, the plywood, the riser, OSB, it could actually prevent the stringer from moving because of the structural support that it's providing it with. And I hope that makes sense. Number 7 on my list will be to use a thicker riser with plywood, maybe 1.1/8 plywood, something like that. And then, of course, number 8 would be to use some type of framing anchors. And again, you can see where you can create a heavy-duty connection with all of these components here. Number 9 on my list is going to be adhesive. This seems to be popular. People are using it all over the place. I have never, ever used adhesive to connect the bottom of the stair stringer or even the riser to the subflooring, and I've never seen anybody do it either. But so this could be my idea here. I'm going to take some of the credit for it. If not, then I'm probably 10th or 20th or 1000th down the list, and I can live with that. So adhesive, put it everywhere. Put it under your connectors, in between your connectors, squish them in there and hope for the best. Number 10 on the list, construction standard lumber. This could provide you with some benefits, but construction standard lumber does shrink. It can warp, twist, and cup. This is going to be something you're going to have to think about. You know, if you're going to be using construction standard lumber and putting something over it, some type of wood finish, maybe some hardboards or something like that, and they start warping or twisting, it could pop some of this stuff apart. So I am going to leave you with one last tip, and then that'll be it for the video. I did think of, with construction standard lumber, if you were going to use it, you could always go underneath the framing if you had easy access and drive some screws up. You could always attach some type of metal. You could use some hardware, something to, drive the screws through if you're looking for even a stronger connection. But you could drive the screws into the stringer. If you have your kicker board or you have your pressure blocks, screw up from the bottom of the plywood, and that's probably going to give you some additional support. So that's it for the video. I hope it provided you with at least one thing to think about or one idea. And if it did, then my job was successful.